I mean, I have many questions about the Bank of Japan, Japanese wages, but let's maybe start with what you're seeing, the impact of a China reopening being on your business.
Definitely, we can create a further footprint in China, and we are excited because we are not dealing with the sensitive items at all. So we want to go into China furthermore. This is a great opportunity.
So you think the reopening of China, of course, is with great opportunities for you. How much more do you think sales will increase in China?
I think more than 20-30% we expect. But we started from a very small number because we got shrunk because of the COVID, obviously, but 20-30% easily. And our consumer aspiration toward the premium products like ours is very high. So pent-up demand is coming up.
Do you have an idea of is it 10% increase? Could it be 20, or is it still up in the air because could it be a stop-start reopening from China?
Well, because they wanted to buy something like products from us, and they've been waiting, and we could not export pretty much. So because of the supply chain challenge.
Takeshi, talk to me a little bit about wage growth. So we saw another company, Fast Retailing, announcing a 40% wage increase for their staff. What does that mean for other companies in Japan? How much pressure is it on others?
I think well before we announced to increase as much as 6% to people. Yep. The reason behind it is people are suffering because of bad inflation. And that means we need to support our employees. So I think the current general norm is to pressure big corporations to increase wages. I think that's going to be prevailing. So it's a good sign for Japanese economy.
So will you stick to the 6% increase, or do you need to go higher potentially because other companies are going much higher?
I think 6 is pretty much a good level. And how we can continue this trend to increase wages, it's questionable because how to increase productivity. So that is another issue we have to be worried about. But definitely, this is a great trend and a tipping point for the Japanese economy. People are, expecting to see the wage hikes, but except the small and medium-sized companies, and they are still struggling.
So is this because of wage increases? So small and medium-sized companies, I mean, this is what we've been waiting for, right? Higher inflation in Japan for a long, long time. How does it change the composition of the economy?
Well, first of all, there are two aspects as for inflation. Good side, it means a wage hike. The other side is people are suffering. But I guess the total norm is, I think, even SMEs will increase eventually. But we big corporations have to give the fair amount of, increase of price. So SMEs is still in question for the Japanese economy to be better. But I'm sure that will be happening among even the SMEs.
We talk about the Bank of Japan a lot. We've always talked about it a lot, but it's now really front page news, certainly in the last 5 to 6 weeks. Is it confusing what they're trying to do?
Yes, confusing, because if we take a look at the market, it's really, confused. But I think down the road, we need to exit, and we need the roadmap to avoid the negative surprise to the people and the corporates. But I think now is the right timing, because that entire landscape of our economy has changed. No peace dividends and the inflation, so we got to change the entire policy taken by BOJ and the government. But we are not ready, but we need a roadmap proposed by BOJ and the government.
Do you think it will be under this governor, Governor Kuroda, or will it be up to the new governor appointed in April?
Governor.
The new governor, and you're confident that actually it will be a framework that markets will understand and that you think will make more sense for your country?
Yeah, well, because people got to know already down the road the interest rate will go up. For example, already mortgage rate is going up. Yeah. So people, general public, feel something will happen, like increasing of interest rates.
Does a new policy help at Suntory?
I think so, because we are moving toward the further premiumization. And plus, definitely wage hike should follow.
What's your biggest challenge in the next 12 months? I know we talk about supply chain shocks, we talk about shipping, we talk about demand being quite volatile. What are you most worried about?
Gas price. and the energy crisis is still going on. And China is participating in buying commodities again. We don't know about that, and that might offset the Chinese economic growth. That is helpful to the world. So we don't know how they will take action to buy more commodities, buy more oil, buy more gas. That might increase, gas prices.
So how can you protect yourself? Do you buy energy in advance or options in advance?
Well, we are moving toward the more premiumization to enjoy higher gross margins. So resilience for our business is so important. So always innovation. So we are putting more money to R&D.
There's a lot, of talk about people's tastes changing. I don't know whether they want sweeter or less sweet, if they're more conscious about their health. Have you seen any changes in the way people consume your products?
Definitely less sugar. And it's experience of COVID, but people love sweet. So we need something very much sweet, but no sugar. So that should be natural. So R&D is needed, but we are ready almost.
And so this is what, through research and development? How much time does Suntory actually spend trying to, taste or look at the palates and how tastes change?
More than 5 years. We invested because, our country has been so much aging, and the diabetics and the chronic diseases have been so much issue. So we put huge resources to natural sweetener, such as stevia, but more sophisticated stevia, for example.
Yeah. You have such famous brands. What do you get asked the most? I mean, they recognize you, they recognize the brands. When you're here in Davos and corridors, or when you meet with business leaders, what do they ask you?
Yamasaki Hibiki. And my job is to apologize because it's in shortage. But that's true. We didn't produce because we could not forecast this much of sales in the world. But that's
it's a good problem
reality.
to have.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
And yes.
Takeshi, thank you so much as always for your time. Takeshi Niinami, the Chief Executive Officer of Suntory.